Really minor thing that I forget to mention for the rest of this video because I completely forgot about it. They changed the UI for the new screen. It looks bad. Don't do it. Don't add it behavior, please. It looks bad. I don't care that you're adding game modes. Put a button just further down the list or whatever. It's bad. Okay, enjoy the rest. Hi, simps. The newest PTB for DBD came out for the 7.5.0 update, and with it came the character Alan Wake, who is the most mid-looking baby girl in the game now, I guess. I don't know, he's not really my thing, so I'm not really gonna play him, and we're just gonna hop right into talking about his perks, because that's the biggest thing that changed from yesterday, and probably why everyone clicked on this video. Champion of Light, when you're holding a flashlight, only activates then, doesn't work with flashbangs. You gain 50% haste, which basically, you know, you have to be using the flashlight, so you move like maybe nurse speed. It's not honestly that much. I know it sounds insane, it's not. And when you blind a killer successfully, they gain 20% hindered for 6 seconds. It doesn't stack, and then it goes on cooldown. And I can tell you right now, from the few games that I played, it's okay. It's not great. If you get a nurse or something, it's useless. If you get a blight, it's not going to be that usable because they usually run enduring. Anyone with enduring, it's not good on. Because if you stun them, you can't blind them in time. So they would have to start kicking the pallet. Which if they know that you have this, they're not going to do that when they know you can blind them. So anyone brutal or enduring, it doesn't work on. Anyone who's anti-lupin can hit you over, it doesn't work on. And if they have map traversal with the mobility, or if they're a range killer, it doesn't even work. So it's not that good of a perk because it doesn't work on half the cast, but it's not bad. It might be fun. You're probably not going to use it though because it's not meta, right? Everyone's a meta slave at some point. Next perk is Boon Illumination, which you know, boon a totem. Lots of boons already. And if you're inside the aura radius, you see all chests and generators in a blue aura, which is pretty cool. And if you have a lit totem, you cleanse and bless everything 10% faster, which is honestly pretty nice, 10%. The issue with Boon Illumination, though, is that you have another perk called Deja Vu, which I made a reference to yesterday for the quick Gambit buff. Shows the auras of the 3 gens which are closest together to stop the 3 gens. And if you know map layout, why would you ever run the boon instead of Deja Vu, which gets you a repair bonus of 6%? And if you're using it for the cleanse totems, there's Counterforce from Jill, which is 20% faster, and it stacks. Each time you cleanse a totem, you get another 20%, and it shows you the next totem's aura. So, the boon's not good, because you have to set it up, and then the effects are secondary to other perks. Because if you're going to go for totems, you're just going to run a totem build. If you're going to go for gens, you're going to run Deja Vu or Prove Thyself or something. So it's not that good of a perk. I hope it gets buffed to something better. Make the totem thing absolutely insane. Make it like 70 or 80%, maybe even 100%. Make it something worth it. Last perk is called Deadline. It activates when you're injured, and skill checks appear 10% more frequently when repairing or healing and appear in random places like Dr. Madness. And the penalty for missing it is reduced by 50%. If it activated all the time, it wouldn't be bad. You could combine it with Autodidact and Hyperfocus and it'd be pretty good. But since most people, you'll probably only you see this in pubs. And since you're in pub lobbies, everyone heals. Even if it's a Legion, people heal. It doesn't matter. So the injured thing, I hope they remove that part, and then the perk would honestly be pretty nice. It would honestly be a nerf to hyperfocus if you use it, because while you would be able to get more stacks in the first place, it would also make you get higher. So if you miss a skill check, you lose all your stacks. Right? So it should be good with Autodidact, but that's about it. And then you have to run a healing build, and you can't be the one that is healed already. And I would like to swap to the other side of the game, but it seems as though the PTB is bugged and is not letting me back out of the survivor lobby. So I think the PTB died, which is great. This part is 100% going to be in the video. I am not sorry. Anyway, I can't talk about the Billy changes then just yet. So instead, we're going to talk about Sadako. Yippee! Sadako, I already went over yesterday. There's not really anything that changed between yesterday and now. Uh, the stuff that did change is tapes are both a second faster in terms of retrieving and putting back in to TVs, so that'll be fun. Everyone can use that. And then the add-ons. You have videotape copy, which increases the range at which survivors gain condemned from protection by 2 meters. Quite frankly, probably barely gonna get used on that one. It will let you, if you mess up a teleport, barely condemn a survivor, which you're probably gonna condemn anyway, so it's not that great. Rico's watch invisibility duration was decreased to 25% instead of 33%, which is fine because they made part of it base kit. So if you run it, you'll still get the 33%, but you don't have to anymore because of the base kit function. Ring drawing is when hooking a survivor carrying a tape, another survivor gains 1 condemn stack, which should honestly be pretty interesting, and should punish survivors, especially if you can cut them off from doing the tape and then hook them and make it to where they don't gain any progress and all that fun stuff. Tape editing deck. Each survivor starts the trial with a tape in their possession, and their TV is the furthest from their location, which didn't get any changes from its original function, but it has a new added function for survivors that insert their tape are revealed for 6 seconds, which if you combine that with lethal is 8 seconds, and is honestly a pretty good information idea, so you might end up seeing that one semi-consistently. I think it's a purple, so it shouldn't even be that expensive. And then iridescent videotape does not turn off TVs and does not apply condemned from teleporting anymore. So, that's fun. And TVs turned off by survivors take 20% longer to turn back on. So, that one basically just lets you teleport, but you don't get any condemned stacks, which means that the add-on's now trash. And you're never going to use it, because why would you? That's a genuine statement. Yeah, the thing with Sako is that you really want to just spam the condemn on people, so you're probably not going to see anyone run that add-on that much. Then you have Billy, who I can actually go over now. I went over all his other stuff yesterday. That video will be linked wherever, so you can go watch it. All of his add-ons got changed for the most part. I think the only ones that didn't are the low kickback chains and low pro chains and grime chains. Everything else got changed in terms of what they do, and, well, some in terms of what they do, some in terms of rarity. You have steel toe boots, which decreases recovery time after hitting an object with the chainsaw. I think I literally just said they all got changed and then listed one that didn't get changed, so that's on me. Dad's boots is now a brown add-on. It increases the chainsaw sprint turn rate by 30%, which is a buff from 28%, I believe, so that's not bad. You also have Crouch Primer Bulb, which is a speed limiter. That's it. Survivors hit with the chainsaw are damaged for a single health state, increases overdrive generation by 15%, and no longer grants a BP bonus, though, which I think is lame, and we should have kept that. Then you have Counterweight, which decreases the chainsaw's sprint's initial turn rate by 70%, which isn't, you know, that's bad. That's bad. That means you can't curve, so that's bad. Thermal casing decreases the speed at which the overdrive meter dissipates when not using the chainsaw by 10%, which means I was wrong yesterday, and the meter does in fact go down. So that might be something people want to use. You have spiked boots, which is now a yellow, all the way from a purple. Increases the chainsaw's turn rate by 45%, which is a buff from 43 or 42, I think, so that's massive. Off-brand motor oil increases overdrive generation by 15%. It's alright. Crease throttle decreases recovery time after a successful chainsaw hit by 10%. Pretty normal. Glogged intake increases overdrive duration by 15%, which, again, overdrive increases your movement speed, so if you want to go for curves, this is one you want to put on. Thompson's Mix decreases recovery time after a successful chainsaw hit by 15%, which I don't know why they keep releasing add-ons that are better versions of prior add-ons, because why would you ever run the 10% add-on instead of the 15%, especially because it's a green, so if you play Law Billy, you're going to get a lot of those, so there's not really a reason to ever run Grease Throttle instead of the Thompson's Mix. Ragged Engine decreases the speed at which the overdrive meter dissipates when not using the chainsaw by 15%, again, same thing about, like, that brown add-on, why would you ever run that one instead? It was a yellow, my bad. 5% is a lot in this game. Low kickback chains got no changes. Discarded air filter increased the time it takes before the overdrive meter starts dissipating by 15%, which... Okay, so this one is before it starts dissipating. This one is while it's dissipating. Okay, so you can combine those for like 30% reduction, because they basically do the same thing. Although I'm sure like the values in terms of actually using them makes it change a lot. You also have high-speed idler screw, which increases the time it takes before the overdrive meter starts dissipating by 20%. They have 3 of those add-ons. Holy shit. Why would you ever not use the purple? I don't know, unless you run out of them. Filthy slippers. After maintaining a chainsaw sprint for 2 seconds, grants undetachable until the chainsaw sprint ends, which combines with Apex Muffler, which is now purple. Still does the same thing of chainsaw silent for those outside of terror radius, but these now can combine, and that's pretty cool. So I like that functionality. Turn carburetor is now an iridescent. It increases chainsaw charge speed by 20%, but it makes you a 4.4. Which, honestly, might not be that bad if you're like a back rever and whatnot. So, shouldn't it be too bad. And then iridescent engravings increases chainsaw sprint movement by 20%, but it also increases the time to charge by 12%, which honestly isn't that bad. And the reason it's not that bad is because if you go to Billy's current engravings, that is just the green version. That is Doom engravings. It is now just an iridescent. They made it fancy, which is cool. Probably gonna make him kind of busted to play. Otherwise, you have Blight from yesterday, who doesn't have any extra changes. I will say, though, the Eerie tag, that one specifically is really stupid, because it's infinite. You just constantly rush all the time, and it's so dumb. I faced a Blight on RPD, which sadly I wasn't recording for compared to the rest of the background footage, and he literally went around the entire map 3 times before finding somebody by just rushing. It's really dumb, and don't be surprised if this doesn't go through. I really doubt it does. So, don't be surprised when it doesn't exist anymore, or canned. And by that I mean heavily nerfed and penalized. So don't be surprised by that at all. Otherwise, there's not really much else to say. There's a few minor things I missed yesterday. For instance, the gen system. Missing skill checks doesn't count as a regression event, which is good. Just some clarity on that. Ruin, I don't think affects gens at all. Surge and Pain Rezo don't give noise notifications if no progress is lost on a gen anymore. Oppression only does a regression event on the generator that was kicked, and Overcharge only the initiating kick is a regression event as well. Otherwise, there's a few bug fixes that inherently nerf and buff some killers. Trapper got buffed because he can now pick up bear traps right after placing them without having to move away first. Blight got nerfed because he no longer recharges during the rush cooldown animation. Very slight nerf, it's not that long. Nemesis got nerfed because zombies now lose collision after infecting a survivor. And Wesker got nerfed because he can no longer flick a survivor after they've been grabbed by his power. Very minor nerf, though, because it's only throwing. Right? So, like, the initial grab, you can still turn, but once you throw them, you can't turn anymore. Which, I'll leave that to the Wesker mains, like Numi, Scooty, Alancan, Chromes, all those people. They can do whatever. I need a drink. That's basically it. There's not really anything else. There's some more bug fixes. Ormond is bad. I'm just gonna leave that there. They didn't really fix Ormond. It's still kind of the exact same, so... They didn't make it smaller, so they buffed it for serves. It's fine. I'm coping. Yeah, that's kind of it. Everything else is bug fixes, very minor. There's not a nurse fix bug here, I don't think. Knight is still disabled, which is really funny. That's it. That's it, yeah. I'll see you all next time. Unless I want to give my opinion on things, but everything seems okay. I'll probably have opinions later once it hits live servers, but you never know. I'll see y'all next time, which might be never. Bye-bye!